this there.
Second down and 4 at the 34-yard line. He goes Smith. First down, we go Rashad.
Yes, I spoke with Falcons GM Thomas Dimitrov regarding the health of rookie offensive tackle Caleb McGarry. As you said, their other first-round pick. He did not make the trip. He has a history of an irregular heartbeat. He wasn't feeling well at Tuesday's practice. On Wednesday, he underwent a cardiac ablation, a surgical procedure.
Right now, you're like, I see half. Well, you see, right?
Dimitrov told me McGarry is out of the
A
hospital.
little bit, but
they won't have a timetable for his return until tomorrow when they visit with his cardiologist.
I hear myself, and I hear myself. All the delays.
Yeah, it's like a second.
They're very confident in this timely return.
Well, listed as a minor procedure, but he'll wish him the very best, and hopefully he's back very quickly. Kenyon Barner picks up a yard, second down.
I had a chance to visit with him a couple of days ago. What a nice young man, you know, he was funny and entertaining, just loved the game of football, and we certainly hope he's back very, very soon indeed.
With an offensive line, as you look at Von Miller,
I'm not trying to
back of 19 career sacks, an NBC commentator, the Kentucky Derby. Did a nice job this year, too.
Oh, he was good. He got a Tom Brady interview. That was impressive.
Second down and 9 from the 29-yard line.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
All right.
Before the snap.
Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
A lot of trouble starting up here today, but you know what? We made it. We're here.
I'm here.
Talking.
Do a little technical.
Denver up 7-0.
Yeah.
What happened? What did I miss while I was fucking around with this computer?
You know what? You're seeing a lot of, like, if you're a 49ers fan, you see a lot of what we've seen is a lot of bootleg, a lot of rollouts, play action. I mean, you're seeing the Kyle Shanahan offense because his quarterback coach is now the offensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos. You know, you're seeing a lot of really great things with this one. I like Denver. They're a team I think can do some things if everything works together. But right now, it's just good to have football on.
You're high on Denver, huh?
Yes, I am.
I don't know. Not too high on Denver.
I don't know. There's something about, I think that it just comes and goes with Flacco. If Flacco can, you know, get his stuff together, but I look at it like they have a lot of tools. I mean, their wide receivers aren't bad. Their running backs are good, especially this offense will help those running backs like Philip Lindsay, like Freeman. The defense is going to be great because it's already got great players and a great coach to, you know, handle it.
Who's in a QB still? Hogan? Stanford?
Yeah,
QB?
yeah. It's Hogan.
What's he done?
The real American?
He's a real American.
Real American.
Look at that.
Matt Schaub, that's even crazier. How crazy Matt Schaub's in the league.
Matt Schaub, man. I mean, how old is Matt Schaub? Like, that's like... How long did Matt Schaub... Matt Schaub was, what, backing up Michael Vick, right? Back in the day in the Falcons. Yeah. I mean, and then he started when they got rid of him, right?
And then he went to Houston for a couple. That's when he was good.
Yeah, and then he was okay for a couple of years. Yeah.
They had who did they have? Was it Andre Johnson? Who was it? Those are wide receivers. It was those two that really.
Andre Johnson was
Andre Johnson,
their
yeah.
big wide receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, those two. They were in the playoffs too. Remember, they were good, and then he just remembered he was Matt Schaub.
You know, I liked Schaub. I think when you put a team around Schaub, like, you know, he'll get you into the playoffs. He'll make sure you're there. He can make his plays. I thought he was better than... I know that was kind of controversial back in the day, but I used to say I think he's better than Vic. I would have started him over Vic. I didn't think Vic... Vic, to me, the only time he was a quality or above average quarterback, in my opinion, was when he was being coached by Andy Reid those first couple of years in Philadelphia. Outside of that, I was never overly impressed with Michael Vick. Yeah, he can run. The athleticism, I was overly impressed with Michael Vick, but not the total package as a quarterback or a football player. It just wasn't there for me. I liked Schaub.
I think that when I look at Michael Vick, I think like you said, I agree with you to his extent as far as he was never going to be this elite, you know, thrower of the ball, accuracy, read a defense. I mean, he's famous for saying you just take the playbook, throw it in the trunk of his car, and call it a day.
Right. That's the guy you want leading your franchise?
I get you, but I just think his physical gifts would overcome any flaws he had when compared to Matt Schaub. Like, if you're talking about, you know, quarterbacks of that time, like I don't think Michael Vick was a better all-around quarterback than Donovan McNabb. Like, if I had my choice, I'd probably take McNabb over Vick because without McNabb, could handle
Wait, McNabb or Vic on the Falcons or Vic on the Eagles?
just in their prime.
So what's Vic's prime?
Vic's prime has to be. See, I don't think it was that Eagles one. I think it was the Atlanta one because he had less talent. He had less talent and less coaching. When he had more talent with the Eagles and more coaching with Andy Reid, yeah, you saw more. But I just think that, as far as his physical prime was those Atlanta years when they went up and beat Green Bay.
I don't think so, man. I mean,
he had a
look
better
at what
statistical
he
year.
did in Philadelphia. I mean, he turned that team around. That team was starting to descend with under Donovan McNabb. And you notice Michael Vick came in humbled back into the league out of jail. He came back humbled, and he really, put his head into the playbook, and you could see he finally was able to put the total package together. The head with that athleticism. Yeah, the athleticism wasn't what it was in Atlanta.
That was deadly.
But the combination at the same time was deadly.
But
That's why I consider that his prime. I consider those first 2 years of Philadelphia his prime.
I don't know. I think those last two before he got crazy.
That's his physical prime.
Yeah, and I guess I think because he was never gonna be a mentally elite quarterback the way we look at Breeze or a lot of the other quarterbacks. He's more of an athletic quarterback based like that, so you'd want him at his prime then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. Who's running the rock for Denver?
Oh man,
Champ Bailey.
Oh, that guy. I remember
Champ Bailey, man.
But the Redskins started off, right?
Oh yeah, he started off. I mean, I think as a rookie, he picked off Troy Aikman, and I was like, that's when I knew who Champ Bailey was. But I was like, oh, what's this guy?
Isn't it crazy? Back in those days, you would trade him for a running back straight up. How crazy
I mean, nowadays, if you tried to trade a top-tier cornerback for a top-tier running back, they'd laugh you off the face of the NFL.
Yeah, you can't be doing stuff like
No, that was Portis for...
just straight up, no?
Yeah, I think so. If not, it wasn't anything major. I'd have to take a look. But Champ Bailey, man, he's one of the best corners I've ever seen.
He was doing it for a while, too.
Yeah, he did. He had a long career. Definitely Hall of Fame worthy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
I think.
But Portis was good.
He was, yeah. Well,
Portis was good.
He was a specimen. He really was. When you look at him as just an athlete, he was an amazing running back.
How many
Oh. Hogan still.
Who's running who is this? For Denver.
I'm not sure his name. I know they don't have any other top two running backs playing or starting. That's the one thing about preseason. Everyone gets hyped because you see football again for the first time since the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then you realize it's preseason. But you know what? It's a chance to rock the jerseys, a chance to get pumped.
Yeah.
And I guarantee that in about a week and a half when we're in Santa Clara.
Oh, I'm ready for Santa Clara.
Yeah, I am
Game
too.
Cowboys. Niners.
That's going to be fun.
I heard Jimmy G's not going to get any action in that
No, I think Garoppolo's not, and the
Hey, I heard Garoppolo's not looking good in camp.
he had a good
That's right.
Oh, today he was
Okay, I haven't heard anything.
yeah, today.
What's up with these guys dropping punts today? What's going on?
They want to make a play.
Right.
That's what I think it is. They know that this is their chance to make the roster, so they're gonna just get overly
But
excited.
that's the way you don't make a roster.
Oh no, but you gotta take a chance. How are you gonna know if you don't take a chance? That group, Mount Blunt.
First ballot Hall of Famers right there. Mount Blunt, Deion Sanders.
Mount Blunt was. They had to change the rules for Mount Blunt.
Yeah, well,
Crazy when you just start grabbing fools and tackling them. No, back to Garoppolo, red zone. I mean, he looked good. Completed 2 back-to-back touchdowns. The wide receivers look good. They get space. You didn't hear a lot because this section wasn't open to the media, so you're just kind of hearing. You don't get really to see video any of it. But he had a good one. The defense is good. They're always going to be in his face. He's doing. I am fine with that because I know that
defenses are always supposed to be ahead of the offense.
I know that when the time comes, Shanahan will have an offense that'll be catered to the defenses they're playing. And, this isn't just going to be a regular
Shanahan's a
defense.
god. He'll take care of it all. He'll snap his fingers and there'll be light.
Exactly. And
That's
touchdowns.
going to happen, yeah.
Touchdowns.
Let there be touchdowns. Let there be 6.
Yeah, just
That's
like
right.
that.
That's what he does. That's what I hear.
Yes, he will. Many times. Especially we got. They open at Tampa, and then they go on the road to Cincy. So, Without, you hear the story that AJ Green's gonna be out the first couple games.
That really puts a dent in my whole Cincinnati Bengals. Watch out for the Bengals prediction. Because I really think the Bengals. Honestly, when I look at that division, the AFC North, I think it's wide open. I really do. Nobody's overly impressive, man. No, there's a question mark that you can attach to every single team.
But their biggest question mark is the craziest is health. They have a lot, like talent. I don't think they match up with the Browns. I don't think they match up with any of the teams in that division as far as talent. They just
AJ Green is when fully healthy, can match Odell Beckham Jr. in production. He's been there before.
Yeah.
It's just these last couple of years. But look, even Odell didn't make it through 16 games last year.
But then you go, even if I give you that argument, then you go down to Landry. They don't have anybody equal to Landry's skill set.
They got Tyler Boyd. He's a 1,000-yard receiver.
I think Landry's better. I'll take Landry. And then
but you're saying match. I just matched his production. He's a 1,000-yard receiver.
He's not as. I don't think he's as good as him. I don't think
but you're saying but just.
Then you go case.
Okay. My point is, so where is this big, huge advantage? Where's it coming from then? Because it's not to me, it's the production's there.
At quarterback. Because I'd rather have Baker than Dalton.
Yeah. Well, who's in at quarterback now?
Let's see. I see the Falcons open up with.
Played his college ball at Virginia and broke a lot of Matt Schaub's record while he was there. Hands the ball off. This is Ito Smith.
Ito Smith, running back for the Falcons.
Yeah.
He's been there for a while. They're trying to replace.
Started his college career in East Carolina.
Kurt
Baker.
Then had an injury.
Oh, so he went to the same school as Schaub in Virginia, no?
Yeah.
Coaching staff got fired.
They just said, screw it. It's right there, Virginia and Atlanta.
The second coming of Schaub.
That's
what they want. Dirk Cutter.
Yeah, dude.
Falcons offensive coordinator, the man that should never have been the head coach of Tampa Bay.
Yeah. You realize something's.
He had no business.
No.
I think I told you I would have never ever hired him over Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith's proven.
As a head coach, yeah.
As a head coach. Let him continue to be the OC. Why would you want to take away from the guy's strengths?
I think that they felt, which is weird, is they felt they were going to lose him to like an NFL head coaching job, so they just said, well, we'll hire him.
Promote him, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, that's the risk you take, I guess, sometimes. I mean, you look at it like this. You could look at it the same way as, with Jason Garrett when he made the transition. That's the positive side. That's the better side. Where you have an offensive coordinator, you don't want him out of the building, you decide to make that choice. You want to make that choice to do it, to make the switch. I don't think you'd redo that again. You wouldn't have kept Wade Phillips there anymore.
Well, that's because Wade Phillips hit the bottom of the barrel, man. I mean, he was 1-7? 1-7 for a team that had Super Bowl aspirations.
And by week 8, they're like, we should start tackling again.
Yeah, and what was that? Like a week or two before he got fired. That's when I was like, dude, they gotta fire this guy. There's no way. Because he was at the press conference and he goes, I started looking at the film, started watching practice, and I realized we're not tackling very well. Well, what the fuck? It takes you 6 weeks to figure that out? Your team's not tackling well, and you're the head coach? It's ridiculous.
But it's so crazy how, but when you make him a defensive coordinator, he's
awesome.
Ridiculously good.
Exactly.
At that same issue.
Exactly. It's like at work. Even if you work at an office, just because you're the best worker doesn't make you the best manager.
That's true.
It doesn't.
Or even the best manager at what you're working at.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a worker bee. There's worker bees and there's queen bees, man.
And sometimes you do that. So, I mean, you wouldn't make that choice, but looking back at the time, that was kind of what the Bucs, I guess, thought was like, okay. And I mean, you see it across the league sometimes. You know that's going to happen in New England when Belichick goes. They're just going to hand it off to Josh McDaniels.
Well, I mean, I heard Belichick's opening up to Josh McDaniels. That was part of the deal for him to stay on, that he was going to show him a little bit of the Belichick secrets that he has not previously shown anybody under his coaching tree.
I just don't think you can, because you have no backup plan under Brady.
And he's in place for San Francisco now.
Yeah, the boss said let him go.
Well, you had to. You know.
Would have been interesting to see what happens if Belichick would have been cold enough to just tell Brady bye.
I think
He would have.
I think he would have.
I think he would have. Now, would that have been right? Probably not, because Brady went on to win. But they had to change the offense to fit Brady again because he wasn't the player he was before.
Right. Right.
But it'll be cool to see, like, and especially preseason, you see backup quarterbacks, you see how they throw. I mean, this is where Jimmy G got his shot. This is where Dak got his shot in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, that first LA Rams game, man, I mean, threw a back shoulder fade to Dez and for a touchdown. I mean, he looked really good.
Was that week 3?
That was week 1.
No, I thought he got hurt. I thought Romo got hurt, and that's why he started. But he got hurt against the Seahawks, no?
That was preseason game 3 that he got hurt.
Yeah, so then they went in week 4. That's when he started against the Rams, no?
No, that was game 1. He was the backup. Romo never played preseason unless it was the dress rehearsal.
That's why he got hurt week 3 against Seattle, and week 4 was the Rams. They didn't open with the Rams.
Week 4 wasn't the Rams. Dak hardly played that game because they knew he was going to be the starting quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They opened with the Rams.
They opened with the Rams.
That was his performance.
Yeah, that was his opening performance. Nice play action. Oh!
Where are you throwing?
26 is all over that.
And we will go down to the show.
Yes, Luke Gilbrand, you had such a
Gil Brandt, Cowboys scout. Put together some of those great teams in the 70s.
See, it was funny how they talked about, people seem to forget that the Cowboys had an owner before Jerry Jones, and that's where they got most of their success. Jerry Jones didn't join America's team. He got to keep it and cultivate it, you know.
Take it to the next level in the 90s.
Thanks to a ridiculous trade. I'm not going to talk about
Wasn't
that.
a ridiculous
It was a
trade, man.
ridiculous trade.
It
Why?
was called, the best move Jerry Jones ever made was hire Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson put that team together, turned it around from laughing stock to
And then the Niners said,
dynasty
you know
in the
what?
90s.
We've had too much fun. You want Charles Haley? Here you go.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you guys in the
It's
90s?
the dumbest thing. That is the one regret of that team. You'll hear. You'll ask DeBartolo. You'll ask Seaford. That is the one regret of all of their things they did was trading him to Dallas.
You know, speaking of Charles Haley, he's going to be up in Oxnard on Sunday at 12 p.m. at the shoe store, the WSS shoe store, right outside of the Oxnard training camp.
That's crazy how he can kind of float between those two teams.
Yeah.
Because I know he's done things for the Niners. He's actually done certain podcasts. He's done openings for them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can do both.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, he's got rings for both. So
Yeah.
there's Gil Brandt right there. Look at the young man. Look at that guy using computers in the damn 60s.
And introduces to a fellow named Salam Qureshi, who had no idea whether football was pumped or stuffed. But he was really good figuring out.
2nd and 10, Denver's up 7-0 over Atlanta. 13:49 left in the game. Got a running play here. Running back kind of slipped.
So he wanted to cut back, lost his
Hill
footing.
Lost his footing on the cutback. How are the Falcons? How's the backfield going to look without Coleman?
It's gonna be a lot of Devontae Freeman, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna his show.
yeah.
He's gonna be their workhorse. You know, they're another team. I mean, they were really bad with injuries. More on their defensive side.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they lost what?
Oh, yeah.
Both their
They
linebackers.
lost Deion Jones.
Yeah,
Right?
safeties. They
Yeah.
were really hurt. And I mean, they were. You know, they made the playoffs even after Shanahan left. They still made the playoffs because they're a
Right.
ridiculously talented team. I mean, you win. You can
Look
make
what
the
Shanahan did with that talent. He got them over the top.
top. Yeah, there was still a lot of talent.
Little high.
Jerry Jones was the man who fired you from the Cowboys, and yet you
Jones is
picked
great.
him to present you at the Hall of Fame. How come?
Well,
Yeah,
I have
why?
a great allegiance to our players. And I felt that if I asked Roger Staubach to do it,
Should've.
Randy was unhappy. If I asked Central Rayfield Wright to do it, Mel Renfro's unhappy. So I thought that was probably the path of least resistance.
Pick the guy that fired you?
Well, that works.
Right.
Hey, Gil, thank you so much.
Oh, that's pretty outlandish there, dude.
Jerry.
One of a kind guy.
All right, 54-yard field goal.
Going serious.
And
As the drive bogs down.
No good.
no good.
Short.
Wait.
54 yards.
It was straight. Short.
How about the crazy kicking controversy and all that stuff that's happening in Chicago?
Oh my God.
Yeah, like they got a guy named Blewett on their team.
Yeah.
Then they're just like missing left and right. They were
Yeah.
praying like, to the football gods that the Niners were gonna let Robbie Gould go.
So they could get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think I'd have taken a first round pick. They wanted to cop the first round pick up.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
they're not the Raiders. They're not gonna.
You sure?
You know, I don't think many people are.
Side note.
There are.
Quick prediction: they're gonna be my 2019 Jacksonville Jaguars.
I got a comment. Nice Funko Pops, man. Yeah, it's Troy Aikman, baby. Troy Aikman, and I got
And Dion covering them.
I got Dion right here.
I should say he's at his home. It's his home field advantage for him right
And
now.
I got Romo. I got a Tony Romo one where he's got his helmet on,
And
and I got Coach Landry. The legendary coach, Tom Landry.
Does Romo come with the broken clavicle?
Yeah, I think it does. Let me see. Separated shoulder, I believe.
Yeah. It come with a cast?
Comes with a robotic arm.
So we hope you guys are enjoying this first preseason game. We're excited to be doing this. It's a lot of fun. I know a lot of people, you know, preseason is preseason, but man, it's still football. Football's back. We enjoy it, especially when it's your team.
Got Romo, baby. Tony Romo with the helmet on. Got Landry, Coach Landry. It's pretty sweet.
Broncos searching mile high and low for a quarterback. Of course, they had Peyton Manning. How that
They
work?
do make Joe Montana, man.
I know, that's on my list. The Pops are a little, you put on my to-do list.
$10.
Bad.
Lynch and Keenum.
See, you know, people give, like, John Elway a lot of crap, right, for quarterbacks. But if I told you in 4 years you would have went to 2 Super Bowls and won one, would you take it?
For who?
You know, Elway gets a lot of crap about being a GM and people mock him and stuff, but he's taken 2 teams to the Super Bowl. Won one.
Yeah, he has, but he's also missed on a lot of things. He's also made a lot of mistakes. But yeah, I get it. Would you take two Super Bowl appearances?
Yeah.
How many years has he been there?
Since Von Miller, I think Von Miller was his first pick or right there around there. I mean, they outside of these last 2 years, they were competitive even before. And it was hard to get rid of Tebow. Remember, he had to get rid of Tebow. That was hard. So for him to be able to build, I mean, they have Von Miller. You know, he was one of the GMs you look at, like, that, you know, was able to use free agency and the draft. You know, it was always one or the other. Either you were the Redskins and you built through free agency, or you were like New England who built through the draft. And now, you know, he was able to do both. And, you know, right now they got Lockup, and, you know, they're hoping this is the guy.
Yeah, Locke, man. I mean, I heard a lot about him at Missouri. You know, I mean, all the Missouri fans were very high on Locke. And
he's got a good arm. Like I think Fangio said, he's still learning to be a quarterback. He's a thrower of the ball. He's got a great gun. He's mobile. You know, but he still needs to learn. He's still learning. Let's see what we got here. Throws. Look at that. I mean, if you're Denver, what do you want to see out of him this game right now? If you're a fan, coach, you know, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for positive plays, man. Positive plays. I mean, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't want to put the weight of the world on a rookie quarterback in this first preseason game, but I want to see the positive plays, whether that be him throwing the ball out of bounds when he's sensing the pressure. I want to see him make the smart play. I want to know that, hey, he can grow into that dependable quarterback that you know they really need.
Yeah.
3rd and 7. Let's see what he does here.
Looks, guys.
Oh, way behind the receiver there. That should have been a pick.
That was a pick 6.
Yeah, that should have been a pick. Yeah, that's not what you want to see from Drew Lock right now. Yeah, that's an example.
And he stared down. You can tell he stared down the receiver. Like he's looking.
Yeah,
back,
stares down the receiver.
Throws it.
Just way behind him. That was a very inaccurate pass.
See, he throws it on a straight line. You know, there's no touch, and you're hoping that he can kind of grow into that. And you have a pretty good quarterback. You know, he wants to help him. You can learn from him, Joe Flacco. Now, there's stuff you can take from him.
What's Joe Flacco going to teach him at this point?
Oh, Joe Flacco kind of had the same thing. Big arm. You know, that you learn to be able to take pressure off, to understand. I mean, still a veteran quarterback you can learn from.
Right.
Type 2 diabetes? Audrey's on it. Eating right?
Hey, but Joe Flacco has something that a lot of teams don't. I mean, his teams used to always give those Patriots fits. Patriots don't have a couple Super Bowls because of the Ravens.
Right. Yeah, they're the only team that really, like, you, back in those days, you thought was like, okay, there's a legitimate matchup for the Patriots at this point.
They used to just give them fits. You ask a lot of Patriot fans. Now, the Steelers like to think they were their rival, but, you know, Patriots kind of seem to own them. Sorry, Steelers fans. No disrespect, but.
No, Steelers are an awesome, have been an awesome team for a really long time.
Anytime they had to play New England in the playoffs when they mounted, when it counted.
Pittsburgh's New England is on a whole another level.
Baltimore just used to be able to kind of bring them down to their level.
Well, when you think about it, you had like that spiritual leader that Ray Lewis was. I mean, he just pumped up everybody, even if he wasn't in his prime any longer at towards the end. But you still had Ed Reed, you had Suggs, man. I mean, all these guys.
They were loaded.
Yeah.
The team was loaded. The defense was special. And you look
the Patriots even signed the guy off the Ravens, trying to even the odds on defense.
Thomas, no?
Yeah, Thomas, right.
Yeah, the linebacker.
Yeah, they gave him a big contract. That was one of the few big contracts I remember Bill Belichick giving out in those days.
Yeah, I think he was burned by that one.
I don't remember Adelius Thomas being back, but hey, he got him out of Baltimore.
Yeah, that was getting him away.
Yeah.
And then you look at, like, who do you think now is going to be that team that gives New England trouble?
This season?
Yeah.
In the AFC, man, I don't see anybody in the AFC North being able to compete with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. AFC West, I definitely think that the Chiefs are. I think if Kareem Hunt didn't do what he did and wasn't such a knucklehead, wasn't such an idiot, I think they probably could have beat New England in this year's playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think Andy Reid will get it together. I really think the Kansas City Chiefs are a threat. Out in the West, when I go to the East, nobody. Never has been, never will be. Not Belichick's there.
No.
And then so now what? We're looking at the South, and I do like the Colts. I like the Colts a lot, but I'm starting to hear some bad news out of the Colts.
Andrew Luck's
calf, and he's got the Kevin Durant calf strain, so that.
And he hasn't been able to get healthy for a while now. That's what they're saying. It's been a minute.
Right, that's kind of scary.
You know what?
They're saying it's precautionary at this point, but hey, so was the Kevin Durant injury in the finals. That was precautionary. And, the next thing you know, it's a torn Achilles.
And then you look at, like, it's weird in the AFC because you have, like, teams where there's talent, like the Chargers, like the Browns, but you're just not sure about the coaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
There's definite talent on the Chargers. They're a talented team. The Browns are a talented team, but you're just not sure. And where even I draw line is Freddie Kitchens, Anthony Lynn. You know, am I really going to trust them to take down Belichick? No.
It doesn't matter. Let's see. Second and one.
Well, it's nice to have a dream come true when you endure a lot of postseason hard.
Down.
Nice old school run out of that.
Power sweep.
You know what nobody runs? Who runs splitbacks?
Oh no, that's.
Why not? I love splitbacks.
I don't know, dude. That's crazy, dude.
Why don't they run splitbacks anymore?
What is your lasting memory of your career in the NFL?
So I'm not sure. You know what? That's like what that died in the late '90s, dude.
Yes,
I went away a new Coke.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Right, it's a single back because of the passing game. I think it's not as great to use. I mean, look at when the Niners did in the pistol, you would have it in a formation similar, but there you go.
What I used to like about split backs is that you could kind of get into any part of the offense you wanted because you're spreading the field out and you have both your backs on both sides of the quarterback, so you really had to spread those safeties because as long as your fullback and your running back were capable of catching a pass out in the flat, you had to keep them honest, from sideline to sideline. I really like that. I don't know why anybody runs it because it doesn't not run that anymore.
In about 5 years, that's going to come back.
Yeah, I'd love to see that come back.
it is weird how they don't use it because you can run a sweep out of that. You can
Right.
pull guards. You can do a couple. You can run that. You know, especially like Andy Reid when they kind of do that pitch out, where
Right.
they fake out and they pitch inside of the tight end or the
Yeah.
fullback and he runs it up. You can do that off of that.
Yeah.
That's one of the best. That's probably one of the best tight ends. Like of my
yeah,
era.
I think he is the best tight end of our era.
Yeah.
But you have talked about that. You talked about how you weren't always the best kid.
Denver still up 7-0, second quarter, 9:33 left in the
Falcons
game.
driving though,
Falcons are driving.
taking bits and pieces here.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Football in high school right now. I tell them it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, and things take time. It's like a flower. You can't force the flower open. And one
That's
thing
right.
that really triggered for me very early on.
Man,
was to really love
how
this
well
game.
do you expect
To really love
Patrick
the game.
Mahomes to be?
You know, the need for this
Another
game.
MVP caliber season?
You actually are in love with this game.
I think he can be, but I don't think he's going to put those numbers up again. I just think that defenses are going to figure certain things out about him because he does have I remember watching him. It was funny. The first time I ever saw Patrick Mahomes play was Texas Tech versus Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And he went heads with Baker Mayfield. They each put up like 100. It was like that random game we played one time.
Yeah.
It's like 100 points. That was one of the best games. And I remember watching him and seeing him, and I thought, oh, well, Niners got a high pick. You know, I looked into him. He has a lot of talent. He's Brett Favre. He's Brett Favre. Throws left-handed when he wants to, runs. But he's got a lot of Favre. You watched the Rams game where he was throwing picks.
Right.
You know? And that's the one thing is I think you're going to see some of those rear their ugly head as defenses adjust to him. You don't know what Tyreek Hill is going to be. You know, you're still not sure about a couple of things. Ooh, they came with pressure.
Well, we know what Tyreek Hill's going to be on the field.
Hopefully, if he's on the field. But I think that he's still going to be good. I mean, he's too talented not to be good. He's got Andy Reid.
Right. Andy Reid is one of the most underrated coaches in recent NFL history. I mean, he doesn't have the marquee name that's on top that a Bill Belichick has, or even like a Sean McVay right now who's getting a lot of hype. But Andy, if you asked me who would I want, I'd take Andy Reid before I took McVay.
Yeah, I think maybe you'd be right. I mean, it's hard to argue with his success across, 2 decades, feels like?
Right. His teams are perennial, like NFC champion. He just has not won the big one. But his teams are like almost always in the NFC or AFC championship game.
So is he Schottenheimer-esque?
A little bit higher than
there's Schottenheimer.
There's a little Schottenheimer in Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
You know, I think that's where you decide. Do you want to take that and gamble that he breaks through, or do you want to take a guy you gamble on that player or a coach like McVay to just not have that issue that
Well, I mean, I can't say that McVay was able to beat Belichick either.
No.
You know, so it's like, hey.
But that's Belichick. Belichick's what he did to McVay, just not even like losing. It's one thing to lose, but to score 3 points?
Yeah.
And it just completely
after being one of the best offensive teams.
Yeah. One most balanced teams too. It wasn't just like Kansas City's explosive.
Right.
Kansas City's like Mike Tyson.
Right.
They just hit you with the shot, bang. Whereas like the Rams are like Evander Holyfield. They're just technical boxers.
Right.
You know, that's how they're gonna do it. They can win different ways. They can throw the ball like they did against Minnesota. They can run the ball like they did in the playoff game against the Cowboys. You know, so for them to be so multiple and Belichick just to shut all of it down, you know, says something.
You know how humbling it is to try and pin dreams from high school and find out that your calf is the size of what your thighs used to be? Bring the funny Tuesday on NBC.
NBC shows. You guys start with the Giants, no?
Season opener at home against the Giants, yeah. Yeah. So we got an extra preseason game.
Yeah. Will Zeke be there?
I don't think Zeke can afford to miss games. Zeke has a how should we say, an expensive lifestyle. He's already missed 6 games, 6 paychecks.
It just depends on what he finds value in.
He's gonna find value in his paycheck. He's gonna fight.
But then, what kind of like are you getting? You know, one of the best running backs in the league, or are you getting like one of the worst offensive guards in the league when you get Zeke back? He's out. He's training in Cabo.
Training in Cabo,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You saw him. He was ripped in Cabo, man.
Yeah, yeah. He was ripping
You
something.
know, margarita here and there never hurt anybody.
And then more and more as it comes.
We'll see. You know, I'm not panicking on the Zeke situation quite yet.
Not yet?
It's early in the preseason. I mean, he wouldn't even be playing right now anyway. So when and if he starts missing it, nice.
Go bounce it, go. All right, that was good. I think that was a nice run. The only thing about Zeke, and I think what the Cowboys luck out is they do open with, at home against the Giants. Then they go to Washington. If Zeke's not there, to me, it really does hurt that team. Because when I looked at your schedule, man, it's like cakewalk, hard game. You get like you get Miami, then you get the Bears. You get like a team that's not good, then you get the Rams. It's like you're bouncing back and forth,
Yeah.
So, I mean, you want him there just to stabilize that team. Let's see what Locke has here. 2nd and 4. Just drop back.
Overthrew Muhammad, number 33.
That was been the running back. I was trying to remember his name. And that's what Fangio said. He's a thrower, not a passer yet.
He was open though.
Yeah.
I mean, how many steps did he have? Look, he had more than a couple steps on that guy.
Oh yeah.
He burned
Well,
that
as a
guy.
running back on the linebacker.
Linebacker.
Game over.
I mean, that safety's nowhere near.
No.
Took a little hit.
I hope the rules don't change where like that's a penalty now.
Well, it's a penalty on Brady.
Yes.
First through. 3rd and 4.
Run it.
And slides to the hole, then a flag
That's a
is
flag,
thrown.
yeah.
A late hit comes in at the end.
See, he has the rule.
Reese was there.
Tell me out of breath. They say
So the flag
one
immediately
comparison I heard about Drew Lock was think
on the
of
far side is
Cutler's
Cutler's
ability
from
and Cousins' personality.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus. Yeah, Jesus playing quarterback for them.
It was kind of interesting.
So you can see he's got some mobility. And
Yeah.
Number 28, defense, that penalty is declined.
faster.
Play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 53, defense, hitting a quarterback who was already on the ground. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Who got their lights put? Wasn't it Teddy Bridgewater? Remember that hit?
Oh,
When he slid?
yeah.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
Bridgewater, right?
That was sick. Yeah.
That guy had just nothing but bad luck, dude.
Poor Bridgewater.
Yeah, I thought he would be pretty good. I thought he could be, like a Cousins type, accurate. And a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah. Me too.
Never.
It's just, he got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
moves the ball into Atlanta territory.
You know, there's another guy in San Francisco, I think, suffers that same ailment,
Considering he's only been hurt, what, once? He's only lost one season in 5
Oh,
years.
he's only lost one?
Yes.
He got hurt when he started in New England.
But we never know how long he was going to be out because Brady.
Did he start the next game?
He was out maybe 2 games. Would you take a quarterback that's out 2 games?
He had 4 games. He couldn't even finish that.
Yes, he started 2. He got hurt.
Yeah, that means
But
he
that's
did.
He never had any other injury problems.
He's never played.
He's played
Like
high school.
every time he's
He's played. Nah.
I just am concerned because he does not have a big frame, and he does run around a lot, and he does hold on to the ball, and
He took massive hits when he started with the Niners, and he was fine. He took hits from
oh
Clowney.
yeah, you can. No one's saying you can't.
Yeah, see,
it's
the
can
thing-
you do it for
it's
16
it's-
games?
it's
That's
one
the
injury, it was one.
But you're looking. Here's the thing,
Yeah.
and I'm being perfect. Let's try to be honest with ourselves. Like forget it. Like I'm not giving you shit because you're a Niners fan and I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm just let's be reasonable.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I feel like you're right, but you're looking at it from the perspective of that it's a race. Like, oh, he's taken hits before. Yeah, no, he can win some sprints. What I'm saying is the NFL season is a 16-game season, and it's a marathon that he has never, ever completed.
But he's never had a but he's never had a chance. He's never been given he's started, like you said, he's had 2 seasons.
Then last season.
Yeah, he's had 2 seasons. That's it.
So legitimately, then
Like,
what
if
you're
he
saying
was-
is that he's only had one attempt at a full season.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So like that's like, do you remember Drew Brees when he would get hurt when he was with the Chargers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But he never got hurt like that.
Yeah, remember the show? That's why they got rid of him.
No, but that was his last game as a Charger.
Yes, but he would get hurt. He would get hurt, and he's got
But
a
he-
smaller frame too.
Right.
It's, to me, the thing is that if that's like, if this was his fourth year getting hurt, or if he was constantly getting hurt, that's
You
one
sound
thing.
just like Will Kane did when I think he said Romo wasn't injury prone.
Yes, and you agree with him, which blew my mind. Yes, but that was Romo getting hurt for 4 straight seasons.
No, it was
Yeah.
not.
Yes.
He was hurt. He got hurt.
He got hurt when the Dak, and then the what? 2
Well,
years.
that was it.
Yeah, but
Dak, that was his last one because then Dak took over. He
Okay,
got
and
hurt
then
the
he got-
preseason and the game 3.
And then he got hurt the year before.
He got hurt the year before. Yes. 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's gotten hurt.
Garoppolo's got hurt 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
but-
he broke his clavicle in what, 2010?
Yes. So he's gotten hurt.
3 times.
Okay, that's going up. That's
But he
great.
played how many years? How many years?
But if that was his first year, you wouldn't say he's injury prone. If that was his first shot and he had gotten hurt.
No, of course
Okay.
not. Yeah.
This is his first
All
shot.
right, we'll see. 2019 is going to show us a whole lot about these guys. There he is.
That's a guy that we.
Ed Reed.
Ed Reed. Anybody wants to YouTube Gridiron Fights?
Check it out.
Yeah, we did
It's
a
on the
great
channel.
debate. Ed Reed versus Troy Polamalu, 2 Hall of Famers. And
Two of the best safeties
It's
that I've
ever
ever
done
seen
it, yeah.
in my lifetime. I mean,
they are the best safeties of our
the
lifetime.
big argument for me was just, when I see Ed Reed, I don't remember another ball hawk like him. I just don't remember another guy on defense that was a legit threat to score points on you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I just looked at Polamalu as like, you look at that, there's a reason why that Pittsburgh defense hasn't been the same since he was
Never.
gone.
It has
You
not.
know? And his ability just to be everywhere. Coverage, stop the run, in the box, blitz. I mean, his nickname was the Nightcrawler for a reason.
Yeah, he was everywhere. Just when you thought he was out of the play, he was back in.
And remember when he used to try to time the jump?
Yeah.
That was crazy stuff. Oh, there it is. No, but Ed Reed.
Ed Reed's looked the same age since he was like 20.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He really has. The one Ed Reed play I will always remember is the playoff game against Indy. Where
Oh, yeah.
He completely shut Peyton Manning down. They lost because they didn't have an offense, but he literally, Peyton Manning fakes left, pump fakes. You see Ed Reed actually bite on the pump fake. Then he throws right. Ed Reed realizes it, but has the speed to recover and pick the ball
Look
up.
at that hat Ed Reed's got on, man. That's awesome. Ball hawk.
Why don't the Ravens have that logo?
Yeah, that's
Remember they used to have a
awesome.
logo like that when they first started?
Yes, they did.
Ed Reed was, he was special. I didn't see that. If they were smart, that would be their logo right there.
Yeah, that's nice.
It is.
Well, some people worried a lot about you because you were always confusing.
The last part was, you think he was the last great, last great part of the U?
Well, yeah, I don't think that Miami's ever been the same after that group.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like a couple years, but they were after him was when downhill started.
Yeah,
But
he was the last.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice throw. Too far.
Pass interference.
Yeah, I like it. Like people talk about Alabama now and they're great, but man, Alabama's great, but the U had.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't Sean Taylor the other safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Came
that's
by him.
crazy. Just to know those are your two safeties.
Your running backs were Clayton Portis, Willis McGahee, Frank Gore.
Frank Gore.
You had Callum Winslow, Jeremy Shockey, Andre Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
That offense, imagine against one of those Alabama defenses, that would have been a great game. to
oh,
watch.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they did it without a good coach. I mean, he was okay, Coker, and then
Yeah, that's true.
remember they were. People hate Alabama. Nobody. They were the #1 team you hated.
Oh, yeah, back in that day, yeah.
You?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you just kind of, if you hate Alabama, you just kind of don't like Nick
How'd you
Saban.
like the 30 for 30 on them? That was one of my
They had 2 of them, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
That's how crazy the U is. They
Yeah.
had 2 of them. They were great. I mean, you start with, Irvin and that era, bringing them up.
Still want that 47 jersey.
I saw that one time.
Yeah, I really like that 47 jersey. Let's see.
Rules have not changed. What is, what isn't.
This is
But the
reviewable.
fact you can challenge it is brand new. So here's your first challenge of preseason.
Yeah, that's not pass
And right off the
interference.
bat,
I don't
the
know.
new
I didn't see.
rule
Well,
comes into effect. So Terry
guys,
McCauley,
yeah,
away you go. What do you see?
Well, Al, let's start right with the process. What they're looking at in replay is there clear and obvious evidence that the defender did not significantly hinder the receiver. Those key words, clear and obvious, significantly hinder. That's the standard replays want to use to decide the reverse.
Clear and obvious, significantly hindered.
He's looking back for the ball.
And appears to restrict the receiver. I don't believe there's going to be enough to reverse this.
No, I don't think so either. If that's the initial call, I just don't
Yeah.
think that's pass interference in my opinion. Like, I just don't.
I hope this doesn't slow down the game that much.
But if they like, if they fail, then they lose their challenge, no? Because you only get 2, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you only get 1 more. So I mean, I don't think it'll slow it down because you still. It's not like you get to challenge it. It's not a ref challenge.
Right. That's
Yeah,
true.
That's where they
Yeah, that's true.
It's more of a Rick coaching challenges. Angio. He's cultivated some of the greatest. It's him and Wade Phillips.
You're talking about Denver and John Elway as the GM, but man, he's went through a hell of a lot of coaches in his time. How many coaches have been there on John Elway's watch as GM?
You had John Fox. You had Kubiak.
Oh man.
John Fox, Kubiak. That shows that is the biggest issue.
Right. Yeah.
Is his biggest blunder because he was cheap and he didn't want to give up control to Shanahan. That was Shanahan's #1 choice.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they just didn't want to give control. He didn't trust Elway.
What is your greatest NFL?
Yeah,
Well,
and the Niners were able to say, okay, well, you're gonna. That's the thing is that these coaches nowadays, the way we used to watch football is you had your GM and then your coach.
Yeah.
And nowadays,
Really, the only
coaches-
one that ever made a stink was Parcells.
Yeah, because Parcells is crazy.
Wow, man, these guys. I mean, this looks
God
like the
forbid-
first preseason game of the
That's what you
season.
expect.
Yeah, there's a lot of high balls. There's a lot of.
Pretty much, you know what we're basically watching? We're watching a training camp.
Yeah, that's
literally what it is.
Yeah,
It's a training
we are.
camp.
Shit, I didn't see this many mistakes at training camp in Oxnard on Tuesday. Dak threw 2 picks while I was up there.
One was the, what did you say, Jeff Heath?
One was the Jeff Heath, but that really wasn't Dak's fault. To be fair,
Yeah.
I think, and again, I haven't really even looked at a lot of the film that I got, but I do remember from just going off of memory, I think the ball was a little high. I think it was Cobb over the middle,
Yeah.
and he tipped it. And Jeff Heath, just being in the area, tipped the ball to himself as he was falling down. It looked like he wasn't gonna. It looked like he was gonna drop because he fell to the ground. The ball was, and then he tipped it, and
So,
grabbed it. Like,
how comfortable are you if Zeke's not there and Dak to like really lead that offense? And it's a new offense too.
I don't think it's a new offense. I think that you're going to see. This is gonna sound really bad, but I think you're going to see pre-snap motion, which you almost never saw. The Cowboys lined up the way they lined up.
They've done that for 20 years.
Yeah, they really have. I really don't remember that. I don't ever remember motion, or as a Cowboys fan, I know that sounds crazy, but honestly, if ever, I kind of think Chan Gailey did a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's so long ago, I couldn't even tell you how much he did. I just remember seeing a little. And outside of that, I haven't seen it.
Well, because when I'd always looked at the Cowboys, even when it was in the 90s or, with Romo and Dez, I look at that as they were just, we have talent, we're just going to beat you with our talent. We're going to line up and Dez is going to beat your DB.
Right.
Our running back, our offensive line is just more talented. We don't need to scheme anything that way. I mean, I remember one game years ago when they lost.
Bill Goldberg?
Oh, dude.
That looks like Bill Goldberg in the bust right there.
They're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I remember just knowing the space, dude. That's the one thing you want to have motion. You want to be complex in your offense.
Well, you want to be able to read the safeties, Like, I mean,
you want to take advantage of things.
Yeah.
This is a game. That's what, like, when you see these Shanahan and McVay and even Andy Reid, they take advantage of things.
there is.
When you watch NFL, was it Football Life?
We're referring to Dan Marino.
the guy right there.
Oh, that guy was crazy.
That guy was crazy too, dude.
Yeah.
Those quarterbacks, that was all the same draft class.
Yeah.
Look at those guys, dude. Terry Bradshaw. It's weird. He's criminally underrated with 4 Super Bowl rings. It blows my mind.
Yeah, you know, I never downplay the accomplishments of a quarterback's accomplishments just because he had a great team around him. I think that's wrong.
You know what it is? I'll tell you this. This is where it is. When you, I'll say this, is that when you compare like an average quarterback to him, that's where I agree with you. But when you're comparing elites, that's when I think you split hairs. You have to split hairs. That's when you kind of do it. Not, you know what I mean? Like if you're comparing like Bradshaw to like Joe Blow, you know, guys, oh well, that guy did that. No. But when you're comparing him to, let's say, a Marino, okay, then you start to take other things.
But I don't think statistics alone can tell you that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's when I know this sounds like so simple and people will argue till they're blue in the face, but that's when an eye test really comes into play. Like, because you have to be watching the game.
That's true.
You have to be watching the game because you can see a stat line. If you showed me a stat line of 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, that can still be an impressive game to me, depending on the way that game went.
Yeah, and when that touchdown came, if that touchdown was the first one versus the last one to win the game, when the game's on the line,
right?
You know, that's what we talk about.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, okay, here's what I'm talking about. When you did like when they did the whole McNabb versus Aikman, right?
Oh God.
Okay, that's when it's ridiculous.
Get up for this one, yeah.
But when you do like,
Very
let's say,
ridiculous.
when you do like a Young or a Favre with Aikman and those group of them, that's when they're all so close that what do you use to split them? And I'm not saying to knock Aikman or anything like that, because Aikman had great games. You know, one of the podcasts we listened to, they played back the '95 NFC Championship game,
Right?
and you see how great Aikman was. So it's not a knock on him that he had great talent. You still have to get the ball to great talent, you know. But it's like when you have great quarterbacks, okay, what made him better? Well, Favre didn't have this offensive line and did such and such.
Yeah.
There. But he also did things that made mistakes through interceptions. So when you split hairs among the best, but
Well, I look at some of their attributes, and I don't think I ever saw. Honestly, I'm literally like in my head right now running through names of quarterbacks, thinking of like somebody that was so accurate on those intermediate to deep routes than Troy was. Like, I mean, man, he always had the ball where it needed to be. I mean, him and Irvin and Harper, they were money on like the skinny post, those deep in routes. I mean, wow. I can't really name somebody that's like, he was way. Yeah, in the short passing game, I can name a ton. I can name the Drew Breeses. You know what I mean?
When his prime we forget because we don't remember much. But I was watching one of the older games. You know who was really great at that scheme, but probably a little bit better was Peyton. Watch Peyton and those threes. He is probably, and they're built similar, big, tall, power pitchers. He was another one that could do that. There he goes.
There he is. Yeah, he got the outside.
Mm-hmm. So you see quarterbacks like that, but again, we're talking about Hall of Famers,
Right. Yeah.
But I get your point. Please remember. Mm-hmm.
Down from 10 to 20. We'll take a look at Fan out here on the edge. One of the things they're excited about is he is so athletic that he is going to be able to make a lot of those reach kind of blocks, but you can't do that. You can't grab. That's a good call. But he was probably as improved a blocker as I've seen in college football. In the beginning, I don't think Tony Dorsett would have wanted him blocking for him, but
one of my favorite, because he got, remember that Tale of Two Cities, that football life? Oh, he got on my nerves.
What did he say?
Just talking smack out. I used to live in how the Niners before Walsh and Montana came. And then his frustration at the catch.
Yeah.
And ended that whole dynasty once and for all.
Let's take a look at the first round draft pick. Noah Fant in the first half. Came out a little bit nervous, I think, and as we all did in our first game ever. Had a chance for this one early on.
Oh.
I do like Noah Fant.
What a drop, though.
Back to him as they should.
Rookie jitters.
Ball in his hands, pick up a first
That's
down.
nice.
On the outside, a little bit of that today.
See, you know, speaking of the guy Kittle, man, I think Kittle seals the edge really well.
He does. What makes him good is that he's good in both facets.
Right, he is. You know, I really do. I really do.
I do. He is probably my favorite Niner, even more than Garoppolo.
Because you know he's good.
It's not just that; it's just his personality. You know, some guys you just click
yeah.
with. Dude, he loves wrestling, dude. That's awesome, dude.
You know,
His Twitter handle is him giving some dude a stunner.
yeah.
Loves to drink beer. He is going to be the guy that helps Garoppolo. Garoppolo's going to succeed. It's going to be, that was like 5 seconds on that play clock. But if Garoppolo's going to succeed, it's going to be because of Kittle, like on the field.
Yeah, I mean that they need to establish their connection.
Yeah. Which I think they're going to be fine.
From my above, to tell you that tonight's aerial coverage is
Yeah, they definitely need to reestablish their connection though. I mean that's key.
an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't know, man. Your wide receivers, how are they looking in camp?
Good, they're fine. They're exactly what you thought. You know, if you're a 49ers fan, you've read training camp. They're getting separation. You know, they got a few issues, but you know, feel pretty confident.
And Devontae Johnson going next to nowhere to be fourth down. Opening day of training camp for the Atlanta Falcons down in Flowery Branch. Here was Dan Quinn addressing the team.
We are championship worthy. We've got talent.
Thank you.
But I don't know if we're talented yet.
What do you think about him, Dan Quinn?
You
don't know?
Good question. I think he's solid, but you know, like nothing.
Like if they go 8-8, do you still keep him?
For one another.
Dan Quinn. I mean, again, it's how the season. For me, I always judge like how the season goes down. What are the factors? Like I said, you can give me a stat line, but how did it go down? But honestly, at this point, I think Dan Quinn's had enough time to get this thing together. You know, and if there is another coaching candidate out there that's open and you like him, then I think, what is up with this guy?
Training camp. It's training camp.
Nobody's catching the ball.
Apparently punting is an issue now. Or
Just catch the ball. You'll make the team. You're the only one that can do it, obviously. Both these teams, especially the Falcons.
His chops, of course, on the defensive side of the ball. You know him well.
okay, more likely to make the playoffs, the Falcons or the Broncos?
And his job right now, defensive coordinator, is
Falcons.
going to be
Falcons?
to
Yeah.
improve these pass
Falcons.
rushes. They really have
Broncos.
to get better, and that is really his
Why?
forte.
Because the NFC is much harder than the AFC.
The NFC is stacked. The NFC is stacked where I think there's more teams that are even.
They don't get better.
I just feel like they're.
But the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah, dude. Like, come
You
on,
don't think
man.
Atlanta?
No. Like it's funny because I just look at how stacked all of those are.
His offense, defense, special teams.
You know,
And then it was sort of
you look at the, you know, even like at Carolina, if they get their act together, you have the Saints.
I heard Cam Newton too is still having injuries.
Yeah, that's his body's. That tells you like they pick these big quarterbacks. They don't care how big you are. You can't take that NFL beating like that.
Because it's a marathon.
But no, but size has nothing to do with it though. Tom Brady.
It does.
No.
It does. It does. It does. But
Look at the two big.
you can't rely on it.
Look at Luck. Luck's banged up. Cam Newton's banged up.
But what does Luck do? Or what has he done for a long time? He had a bad line and he holds on to the ball.
Okay, but you look at a guy like Russell
Man.
Wilson. Look at Breeze. They're small quarterbacks.
But Russell Wilson moves well.
Yeah,
When do you see Russell Wilson get like the shit knocked out of him?
I mean, he gets hit once in a while, but like you said, but you're talking about the size. They're not big guys. You look at it. Aaron Rodgers is not a thick, big guy. Aaron Rodgers.
No, he's not. He's not.
And for what, 8 of his years, he was healthy.
Right. I mean, it's a brutal game. Anybody can get hurt.
Yeah. So I mean, I look at it like that's a freak injury, that torn ACL. I can't. If you're Garoppolo, that's a. You know, I don't look at it like if his shoulder got hurt again, that's a different story. Then that's 2 years in a row. Your shoulder, 2 out of 3 years, your shoulder gave out on you.
He will learn. We see so many
What is
quarterbacks.
this?
You don't have to actually throw it, right? You could flip it underhand to the same thing by cocking the thing back. It almost cost him a fumble, but I do think he held on to it.
Fangio wants around the
Andrew just rocking a sweater, bro.
with a 17-yard run a couple of plays ago, fires a strike.
I love
The
that.
Christian Blake.
Yeah.
29-yard line for a first down.
I like it.
Clock down to just over a minute. Atlanta has one timeout.
Baker has showed some flashes to me out here.
Not bad. 7 of 14 for 82 yards.
Whoa, dude, that was a crazy pass.
So, how was Garoppolo looking earlier?
I think he did good. Like, the defense, like you said, is always going to be ahead of the offense. They said there was a play where, like, I think it was a couple days ago, it was in pads. The play went, the middle of the field opened up, and he scrambled he ran up the field for like 15 yards. And then did like a fake slide, you know, because they're not going to,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
they'll get killed.
Yeah, so he's, you know.
They'll get burned at the stake for touching that guy.
You know what Bosa said? Bosa said that if it ever came to it, he would literally throw himself out of the way and injure himself before he touched Garoppolo.
That is crazy.
He knows how important that is. He is a beast. You want to talk about positive?
Yeah.
He is
Talk
just.
about positive.
He.
How positive are you that they're going to look good as far as the depth goes when we're in Santa Clara?
Oh, I'm fine with that. I think especially that defensive line. Because I like the guys who are the backups. I like Julian Tatum, Delano Blair, and Tavia Street. I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be, you know, great as far as preseason. You know, you look at Bosa's already giving Joe Staley fits, and Joe Staley's a top tackle. And he says the one thing that gives you trouble is you don't expect that kind of speed, that technique, and that hand movement from a guy that young to have that combination already. He's not as like the thing is he's not as like athletic as his brother in the sense of like his brother's a little lighter. His brother can't play defensive tackle as well as like Nick Bosa can. Nick Bosa can play defensive tackle. If you really want like a passing down, you
right.
want NASCAR one. So I mean they've done great. I mean I'm happy with the defensive line. You know, Solomon Thomas looks like a mini Aaron Donald as far as physicality, size-wise. You know, he's actually gotten in great shape. So, I mean, they look great. It's going to come down to the defensive line and Garoppolo. I feel like Garoppolo is going to be fine. And like he said, I mean, you know, you look at one ACL, he got his shoulder hurt the second game. I'm not worried about it.
See if Atlanta could get the ball in the end zone before halftime here.
Oh
Oh,
my
wide
God,
open
open.
in the flat. Completion to
Brian Hill.
number 23.
Wow.
Put 6 on the board. That was
That's
bad
that's a
defense
teaching
there.
moment right there.
Let's see who blew that coverage. There's no way they could have left the flat open on the goal
One
line.
of those things when you play a lot of different things. Look at Baker. He's looking over. He said, "Oh, nobody's going to cover." I love his eyes. Did you see his eyes?
You can't see who played Matt. I was at Matt.
Yeah.
He saw there.
Didn't have to look up any safety that time.
No, he sure did.
No shot. You figure someone just got lost in coverage.
Yeah.
Oh, do the Bettis jersey? Did you say go get up the thing? Steeler fans are always pretty interesting.
Look at the formation defense. They lined up with 7 players on the right side of the formation. We're trying to do that 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the
You ever wonder why certain rules like that came into existence?
Yeah,
What could have happened when he said, no, you can't have 7 on that. I want to have all 11 on that side.
Right, yeah.
If I want to have all 11 lined up like that, tell me what's up. You excited for next Saturday?
Oh yeah, I think I definitely want to. You know, Mike White looked pretty good in training camp. Strong arm.
Who's going to
Strong arm. You
Who's
know,
the number 2? Who's going to get the
couple-
snaps behind that?
I mean, the incumbent would be Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Well, and Cooper Rush didn't look bad by any stretch of the imagination, at least as far as practice goes. But
Yeah.
Mike White looked better
Yeah.
when I was there. You can see Mike White. You know, his arm was stronger. You can see he's got the size. He's about the same height as Dak. He's that 6'4", 6'5". He's not as thick as Dak, but you know, you can see he's bigger than Rush. And he had confidence out there. That again, like I know it sounds so simple. Oh, I want my quarterback to have confidence. But that's very important. Like you can see, when he's got confidence walking out of the huddle, and breaking the huddle.
You think that that's what kind of maybe helped Dak?
Yeah.
Because you figure when Romo went down, the first thing was go trade for a quarterback.
Right.
But confidence in Dak that he probably allowed them to keep him and be starter.
And nowhere near Dak, but I mean I saw the confidence. So what it is he going to be one of these guys that when the light shines bright in Santa Clara, can you show that you can play still and still have that confidence?
We get to see Nick Mullins made his start. He did a comeback against the Cowboys, and he beat the Raiders
last season.
Smashed the Raiders.
That was faster. I think someone grabbed an arm, no?
Yeah.
Hold on Jordan Miller, Trinity Benson, the intended receiver with 5 seconds.
5 seconds left in the half.
Inside 2 minutes, right?
Prior to the pass, holding number 28, defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Prior to the pass, so that is not going to be reviewable. It has to be pass interference, right, Terry?
I think that's where I get nervous is if they start like,
when this hold occurs, or even if it is enough for restriction for pass interference.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't think that's pass interference. I guess it is because you're technically holding on, but
Pass interference if the ball is in flight and it's clear and obvious that he was significantly injured.
I got it. So they can actually check to see if the ball was in flight or not.
Correct.
When you say they, you mean it's the eye in the sky. It's the replay official from upstairs.
That's correct. Didn't have enough to stop.
Oh God.
Preseason football at its finest.
Loses it, and the Falcons have it, and they will run it down.
So that ends the first half.
That ends the first half,
Of a preseason
7-7. First preseason game of the 2019 NFL season. And lots of mistakes, man. How do you like Drew Lock?
He's got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
People were comparing him to Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Yeah, coming out of college, arm, mobility, like skill set wise. Yeah, he was. That's what they said.
$1 million. Third. $10 million. Matter of opinion.
Why did you bring us here?
Look at those guys out there. You got immigrants from
Man, he's aged.
Yeah, he has.
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is in the U.S. Yeah, I know that was a test. Only
Yeah, man. So halftime. Guess we'll start wrapping this thing up.
Sign off.
What did you just finish with what you liked from the first half? Positives and negatives.
You know what? Positive is football's back. That's the
Football's back.
overrated. That's the number one positive.
That's for sure.
Football's back. Now the type of football, still working the kinks out. I did like seeing. You kind of want to see some of the new offenses, like with Denver, getting to see the schemes. They'll be a little more refined when the season starts. But for me, being a Niners fan, getting to see the Shanahan tree start to kind of take hold and his offense kind of grow. So I mean, that was cool to see. You want to see young players. If you have a young quarterback, of course, you want to see how he performs. Locke's got a long way to go. If you're Atlanta, you want to see who's going to be the backup behind Freeman. So that was my big takeaway. And I look forward to seeing the second half and the rest of the game and so on and so forth.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of mistakes. I think that the Falcons are in desperate need of somebody that can catch a punt. That'd be awesome.
That would be nice.
But kind of uneventful aside from football is back.
Yes.
So we'll see as the preseason goes along. Hopefully these teams will start looking sharper and sharper.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of making me think about what I'm actually going to be witnessing on
It's
the
a
tape.
realization, yeah.
Yeah, like what am I going to see out there? I mean, hopefully somebody tears it up out there and gives me some confidence.
I think, let's be honest, like, this is what you're going to... It's because you said it's the first preseason game. It's a glorified,
It's a glorified practice.
Yeah, it is.
It's a scrimmage.
But it's football.
Yeah.
Pads on, hitting foods. So
Yeah, so we will be going live in Levi's, or not in, but right outside of Levi's Stadium up in Santa Clara. So make sure you sub up to the channel and, check it out, man. We're going to be talking a lot of Cowboys, a lot of 49ers, getting into the Mike Whites of the world and, some guys that you're looking for. The Mullins,
can he take,
Be Hard.
Oh, yes. Good old Be Hard.
All those guys.
I'll be sad when he gets cut.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so signing out of here.
Peace.
Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame game, first preseason game of 2019. Denver 7, Atlanta 7 at the break. You know, one thing for sure about this Hall of Fame class,